try. First try. I promise that was first try. Holy cow. Luke, was that first try?
First try.
First try. Long Beach, life imitates Long Beach. Long Beach, life imitates Long Beach. I guess, let's see, what's the best way to do an, oh, okay. It's all about what you know. Uh-oh. You! Stand still while you... That's a Pink Floyd reference. That's a tough one. I wouldn't have hit you up for that. Had you nailed that, you're camera woman forever. But name 4 Beatles.
All right, let's see. We got John Lennon, Paul McCartney.
That's true.
George Harrison,
One of my
and
favorite.
Ringo Starr. Look
at you. Oh, you're so good. Okay, that's impressive. That's important shit to know. Okay, to be camera woman for Life Imitates Long Beach and to meet our first guest, then you've got to be able to do the bonus question. Name 3 Rolling Stones.
All right, let's see. We got Mick Jagger.
Easy one. Okay.
And then we got Ron Wood.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, you got it hardy. Okay.
Last would be Keith Richards.
Get out of here. You're the new camera woman. Get on the other side and make sure I look good.
Oh, I could not get up.
Oh, get up. Which brings us to our first guest of the show. To be the first guest of Life Imitates Long Beach, you've got to be the biggest star in the entire world. How will we ever top this star? I have no idea, but ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you our first guest, the sun. Oh, yes. Yay. Oh, doesn't get any bigger than that. You know, the sun is so conceited, doesn't talk too much, and we were going to get like a manager or someone to represent for him, but some interesting facts about the sun. You can fit 1.3 million Earths in the sun. Did you know that, huh? It's big time craziness. Yes, yes. The sun occupies about 99.86% of the total mass in our solar system. That is a big fucker right there. Look at that. I'm put it right in my little circuit. Oh, the sun, my big time guest. Yes, light from the sun takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to get here, but actually that light is longer than that because you're in the sun. Okay, here I'm the sun and the light's still shooting out of it, but by the time it pops its little zitty and hits us, 8 minutes 20 seconds. So literally that light hitting my hand right now has took 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach us at the speed of light. The sun is about 4.5 billion years old. Looks pretty good for your age, huh? Holding well. About halfway through its life. It's insane to think that that keeps us alive, but if we didn't have our ozone layer, which is an incredibly weird, odd thing within itself, we would be cooked by it. And just like this camera, it can't handle the light because what you're seeing is every color, including black. We're seeing every color in this little circle thing. Fun fact, okay. Why listen to my I've been throwing up and asking we can bring a real scientist in and give us great facts. This is Mugger. Mugger, you're a scientist, correct?
Actually, I'm a computer scientist, which is much different. Do you know the difference between science and computer science?
Isn't it all just science?
It's not science. People have certain things that they want to learn about and do and study.
What is computer science?
Computer science is the linkage of all computers together and how they operate. It's like artificial intelligence, all of that deals with computers.
Well, that didn't have a shit ton to do with the fucking sun. We're gonna have to start vetting these guys a little bit better. All right, and then we'll go skateboarding.
Let's play word command.
All right.
Marge and Homer Simpson.
Homer, are you wearing a tie to impress the dog? You think he noticed?
Richard Pryor.
A wino ain't afraid of nothing but running out of wine. A wino could deal with Dracula. Hey, you with the cape.
Pete Puma.
Well, I'm a little rascal's mother, and I've just been so worried. Oh, I don't like coffee. Give me a headache.
Ringo Starr.
This is Ringo Starr reminding you that guns don't kill people, people kill guns. Help protect the privately owned handgun by joining the National Rifle Association. All we are saying is, give a piece a chance.
Daffy Duck.
Well, I got an idea. Let's sue Donald Duck. I can't understand a single word that duck says.
Bobby and Hank Hill.
Has anybody smelt today's trash? Oh, Bobby, you're not making Christian rock better. You're making regular rock worse.
Eddie Vedder.
I'm Eddie Vedder. Did I tell you I was Eddie Vedder?
Kermit the Frog.
Hi-ho, this is Kermit the Frog, and I have a pig problem.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal for Shack Ponds. Shack Ponds, the freshest in tampons. If you're gonna bleed, we've got what you need.
Tom Petty.
Hey, this is Tom Petty coming to you live from heaven. It's a lot of fun up here in heaven. You get a jam with George and Jimmy and Kurt, and God's really wild on the ukulele.
Barney Rubble.
It takes a smart man to know he's a dummy, Fred.
Norm Macdonald.
Oh, yeah. Tom Cruise told me, never name drop.
Thunder Mountain Disneyland.
Howdy, folks. Please keep your hands and arms inside the train and hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Haunted Mansion.
Do not pull down on the safety bars, please. I will lower them for you. No tire, I see a barjo en los barros de seguridad. Por favor.
That was just all right.
All right. Swear to God.
Wait, can I say something first?
Yes.
Do you know that Bob Dylan wrote propaganda songs?
Yes, Mike White.
Okay.
Yes.
Just for the record.
Oh, yes.
Hold on. Innuendo in my window. Back to the Bob Dylan.
You got a tight little...
There's some respectable
Yes.
people.
Well, they're not going to be here for much longer. How do you leave? How do you leave SST? How did the whole? Are you done with it? Was it? I got to do other things. You've been with them. You've picked bands. You picked Opal, which that's a huge deal to me. I'm going to say that's SST 103. I'm almost positive that's the number. These are big bands, but these are not like SST traditional bands.
No. I mean, Opal was my friend's, actually my girlfriend at the time, Jenny Cole's friends that she hung out with, right? And I forgot the name of the singer in Opal. What's her name?
She's the Mazzy Star girl, right?
Yeah, well, what's her name?
I don't know. I was studying on the fucking Sun. I don't know. All my homework was on the Sun. I don't know. No, but I love that shit. Yeah.
So she was, and I don't know. I know the dude died. The dude that was the guitar player.
Yeah.
He passed away recently, right?
I did not.
And again, I don't know. I'm really bad with names, but she was great.
Yeah. Totally great.
And we have our booze coming in at the spot.
Here, I can do some. You've got the stars in your eyes. You're like a rocket machine. Dun, 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 dun. I love that. I love that stuff.
Back in the days when SST was on Phelan Avenue and Artesia Boulevard in Redondo Beach, there was a basketball court down the street, and we would play. Greg Ginn's brother, which we refer to him as Raymond Ginn, but we called him Pettibone. So again, go off on a little tangent. Greg Ginn's dad, whose name's Regis,
I met him. I knew him.
Called all his kids a famous
artist.
A famous writer, right? So Pettibone's a famous, and Greg Ginn is named Kierkegaard, right? The famous Dutch poet. But anyways, we played basketball, and it was like just brutal, man. It was basketball, like the brothers, their two brothers elbowing me there, and as Jonathan Living Siegel will tell you, that we're competitive, right? We're into sports and music, right? And I call him Jonathan Living Siegel. because I give everyone a name, and so based on the book, right?
And everybody calls you Rohan.
Hold on. Get back to Regis Ginn. Regis Ginn gave everyone a name, and so I give you that name based. Well, it's not an author; it's a book, right? So just a different story. But sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I like that. Who's the better basketball player, Greg or his brother?
Oh, Greg is.
Yeah.
But his brother is, Pettibone is kind of I don't want to say nasty, but you know in basketball they say they come up with the most, I don't know the term, you know, the player that cheats, the most, the dirtiest.
The McHale.
So
yeah. The Kevin McHale shit.
Yeah, Kevin McHale. And
who's the Detroit guy we hate the most? What's his fuck face? Well, when we demanded that we put the basketball goal in because Greg said he liked to play a lot. So when I was at SST way later years than when Mugger was there, we would play. And here's what Greg would like to do, because I'm way shorter than him, but I'm the only one who wants to stick him. And I push and I put my chest in, but he'll count it. He says count it as he's shooting, and I'm just like, I am going to Bruin, you know, because
you guys all went to.
I'm a Trojan. He's a Bruin. Oh yeah, I'm anti-Bruin for sure.
I went to Cal State Long Beach.
Hey, see,
different schools.
Long Beach, life imitates Long Beach. That's a theme song. You can drink it.
But actually, when we were on Phelan, SST moved to Long Beach, right? So we had a facility on Alameda and the 405, and so I rented it out, and it was a big place, right? And so but it was in a kind of we're in a hoity-toity, a nice area now, right? But this was in a shady area. But it was big. We had our warehouse. We had all of our record. You know, I would order the records in the back. And then at that point, we had like sort of two sides. You know, we broke apart from Greg Ginn and Chuck Dukowski. Me and the other owner, Joe Carducci, were doing the SST thing. And then Greg and Chuck were doing global tour. And they set up their own record label called Cruz Records, because Joe and I only wanted to do bands like Sonic Youth and Opal, and those were the bands that we were bringing in, and they were bringing in their Chemical People,
right,
and all of their bands. So there was this distinct division of, you know, what kind of bands do we want to bring in, and did we bring in the right bands? Did they bring in the right bands? I don't know. That's a good question for all of you kids to think about that are watching us. But we were in Long Beach.
Yay! All right. And cheers. Where did you meet, and how did you meet Greg Ginn, and how did SST do its thing? Because I know it was a ham radio thing at first. Were you doing ham radio crap at first?
Yeah. So we met at the church, which was this defunct church, and now it's like, if you go there, they sell 40. Like guzzling.
No, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
But now it's like a place like this, but they serve steaks and high-end steaks. And if you go into the restroom, all of Pettibone's flyers are there. But you're going to spend $50. Some hot chick just walked by, so I got a little bit off track. Anyways, so we were at the church, and like Chavo, Dez, Dukowski, this was before Henry, we would all hang out there, and I used to sleep at the bottom. I was probably like 16, so there was a basement, and we slept there. And I'm the type of person that doesn't, you know, I want to do something. I'm not going to sit around and like, and not to disparage, you know, people in the band, but Dez and Chava would sleep till like 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I get up, even though if I go to bed at 2 a.m., I'm up at 7, you know, when the sun comes up. Maybe I'm a coyote or whatever, right? I want to do something, right? So Greg was making his ham radio things, right, his electronics, and he's soldering in there, and I go, hey, can I help you out? So I started to, and I never knew anything about soldering or anything, so I started soldering his ham radio things to help him out. And then he goes, hey Mugger, can you go down to P.O. Box 1, Lawndale, California, and pick up my mail order? So I was 15. I did not have a driver's license. He gave me his father's MG key to get in the car.
Is it a stick shift?
It's a stick shift. And so I didn't know how to drive a stick shift. So he came out like 2 minutes, says you put the clutch down, and like 3 minutes later, I'm driving a stick shift going down to SST P.O. Box 1, Lawndale, California, picking up the mail. And then so I'd get the mail, and a lot of times back in the day, they would just put cash in. I'd get the cash and I'd get the checks, and I'd give them all to Greg, and then I start soldering, and then I put them together, and then he goes, take this down to UPS. So I started to take the MG, fucking stick shift, going down to UPS and delivering the, his tuners to UPS. Right, so at one point they're touring. This is when Chavo was in the band. They started to tour in San Francisco. So the first tours were to San Francisco. So they say, "Hey Mugger, can you help us? Put the drums together? Put a string in my guitar,
roadie stuff."
And so all the road and Greg's saying, this is how you put, if my string breaks, right, and this is the other one, my backup guitar, you have that plexiglass.
Yes, the see-through one. Yes,
the plexiglass.
yes.
So I'm like sitting there, the first time, and then he's got his little tuner thing, right, and so from there, right, so we started to tour. All over. At this point, it's mostly West Coast, to Seattle, to Portland, to Vancouver. We started to tour, and so it's like we are the invading mongrels or whatever, So we would go to all these cities, and we're looking for fun. So at that point, we started to do the tours, and so I put their first band together by putting beds in, so we could put the amplifier.
The two-story.
Okay, so we had
yeah.
2-story. We had one in the back, where the singer, the hierarchy of the top dogs would sleep there, and all of the proletariats or the working class would sleep at the bottom, where we could sit when we're driving. So I would drive at night, right? Again, at this point I was probably 17. I had no driver's license. We had a stick shift. I don't know if you know the stick shift back then in the vans.
Oh,
so
gosh.
It was 3 gears, right?
Yes.
So this one, and this one. So we started to tour, and then, when we would come back, we didn't have anything to do. So then we started to put out records. And so our first records was Saccharine Trust, Pagan Icons, How Does a Man...
Human Certainty. Which brings me, do you realize what you guys really did? Do you have a satisfaction with SST? What is your... I feel like I know you know that it's rad and awesome, but do you realize the impact of the other record labels and bands and people that you have influenced and actually...
The do-it-yourself thing, it's like everything has to start from somewhere, right? And the do-it-yourself thing comes from Greg Ginn's dad, which is Regis. So Regis is like these... Greg Ginn, Pettibone, and Regis are geniuses, right? So their IQs are above 150. So a genius, again, to get back to the analogy of Elon Musk, which is also a genius, right? So
a racist piece of shit genius, but still.
And I just, if I can say something that I think that is an important thing to say about back then, and I think about this anything, it's not like you might be a rock star or a cop, right? Or you might have all of this knowledge or whatever, but it's like about building a team, and it's about building chemistry. And so back then, all of the players, right, was very, you know, the chemistry was there. And if you think about, you know, Napoleon or even Elon Musk, right? They build a team, right? And so we would do anything for his team, but then his problem is, and just like in military, is that you try to divide, you know, Napoleon came up with the term divide and conquer, right? So we divide, you know, so Greg divided us, right? Because he did not want to hear, you know, the bands that we want, like Opal and Sonic Youth. He wanted his Chemical People and his Cruz shit and Zug's Rift and all these other bands that we said, you know, we're not really interested in that. But in his mind, he's the Elon Musk or the Napoleon or the Hitler, and that he wants to dictate what we said. And so the whole thing, and if you think about, you know, those bands in the beginning, the SST 100 were things that we all agreed upon, right? So it was okay, you know, it's like
it's Minutemen, Bad Brains, Sonic Youth, Descendants. It's it's Dinosaur Jr. These are very big time bands that we're talking about here, though.
And what's the other one? You messed one up. I can't think of the name.
Oh,
of it.
Husker take that, Huskers.
No, Screaming Trees.
Screaming Trees.
You forgot.
Oh yeah, have you read his book?
No, I haven't. But the chemistry in a band and business and in anything you do is so important. And once that chemistry is gone, right? What SST could have done, or anyone could have done. Greg Ginn can make a battery, solid state battery. He can make his own. He can make his own radio. I mean, his own record company. And so to sit with these guys, to sit with Greg Ginn, right, and Pettibone, and to listen to their ideas, right? Their ideas were like fucking crazy shit, and so a lot of times their ideas, we don't have the money for that, right? We can't do that, but they're saying, no, let's just fucking do it, right? So their ideas are amazing, but he needs the support, and he's deranged. He's fucked up, right?
So fucked up.
And so just like everyone else that we know, these people are fucked up.
Hello, mild-mannered Jonathan Pekar here of Life Imitates Long Beach, and I have the opportunity, and I am thankful and grateful for that, I will say that, for getting to interview Elon Musk. And Elon, I have to just ask you right off the bat, do you not feel like the things that you have been saying are not only racist, but inappropriate and shameful? You are the head of a very large company. The irresponsible things that you have just said and your beliefs, the sincerity coming out of your mouth right now is just, it's embarrassing. Are you sure this is truly what you think and believe? Long Beach, Life Imitates Long Beach.